episode, I want to talk about the term drive for show, putt for dough, and especially for my female beginner golfers, just my personal feedback and share to my fellow ladies and also to the guys as well, my thoughts on this. So when I hear drive for show, putt for dough, I do not believe that it applies to most amateur golfers. I'm going to share my feedback, just what I think. So when I watch my favorite pros, drive for show, putt for dough really makes a difference because, they're going for birdies, right? And I believe that as a beginner, most beginners that I watch, especially high handicappers, they're not great drivers. They may bomb it far, but they're not driving for show. To drive for show means that I'm impressed when I see you drive. And it's not because you hit it far. It's because even if you did hit it far, it lands where it needs to land. It's a great drive. I feel like in golf, people are not honest about where they honestly are, right? Because most people are not driving for show. They're not. Their dispersion is crazy. These balls are it's like diagonal golf. You're going here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here. That's like when I play with most people, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this. I'm not seeing driving for show. It's boom, then boom. That's driving for show where that ball lands right where it needs to land, okay? And even if it lands in the rough, it's a great drive where you put yourself in position for a great approach shot. Okay, so here's another graphic that I want us to look at. This is all about dispersion. You can pause the video, but this is what I was talking about as far as, where most amateurs are hitting it at versus where the pros hit it at. And then when you're spraying it, you put yourself in worse position. So most beginners, high handicappers, are not shooting for birdie and rarely are shooting for par. So when we talk about beginners in golf, I don't know why people think we're talking about pros here or scratch golfers. Most people have high handicaps. Most people, if they are better golfers, either mid handicaps, and if they're really good, they're scratch. But we're not talking about scratch golfers. We're not talking about single handicappers here. We're talking about the majority of golfers that are double digit handicap, right? And most 15 and up. Okay. So let's talk about this. Okay. I think the statistics are only 5% break a certain amount. Let's talk about the majority of golfers. So when you look at the data from USGA, of course, keeping in mind that many golfers, probably millions, do not actually have a handicap and keep proper score within an app. But 18% have never broken 100, 55%, 21%. These are larger numbers that show us where most golfers lie. So this is who this conversation is about. So I believe you need to drive for show. I do. I believe that you need to learn how to get off the tee box well. Because you will not be able to putt for dough if you cannot drive. If you do not have if you do not have the ability to get off the tee box well, to set yourself up, making par or even bogey golf will be hard. Let's use it as an example. I just played Jeffersonville back last Wednesday, right? Here's my thing. I want to show you an example hole. I'm going to show you on how distance does matter if you're going to make par, okay? Hole 17, there we go. Okay, hole 17 is 363. It's a par 4. Most women beginners are not getting it past 155 if they're a high handicapper. So I want us to look at this graphic because women, if you look at the average distance for amateurs, it's 158 yards. Average, okay? Let's keyword average. The further you hit it with accuracy, right, then the higher chance you have of your second shot, right, being a shorter distance shot. But if I break this up on a hole that's 363 yards, right, I am having to hit at minimum 150 plus yard shots. Right? They need to go an accurate distance, right? So to say that distance doesn't matter, I can't agree with that. Right? So one of the things that's important is to build up distance, because if you're going to get to a mid-handicap, you need to get it to 150, 175 yards, right? One of the reasons why I believe I've been shooting so well, number one, my drives are between, my lowest will be like 190 something, usually I'm like 220, 230. Now this is my personal opinion, you don't have to agree, but I'm getting to a place now where then I can now focus on short game, because I have gotten my ball to the green well enough to where I am on average 2 putting. I rarely 3 putt. 2 putting is like that. I'm 2 putting, if not 1, right? But averages, I'm not 1 putting like a ton. Averages is 2, right? This is someone who used to be a junior golfer. I believe that you have to get your ball to a certain point in your game where you can focus on short game, because you've done the work to get your ball to a good enough place to where now short game is my focus. Because again, what good is it to putt for dough and the ball's not on the green, right? So for dough, I've always felt like great golf is a combination of both. You have to be able to drive for show and get to the green. Drive and fairway shots, get to the green. And then you need to be able to putt for dough. You need both. Great golfers do not have one or the other. Great golfers have both.
So I want you to pause the video and look at this information. When you look at the data on amateurs, you can even look at it, what it is for pros. Now, this, of course, is from the strokes gained philosophy, which I completely agree with. When you look at it, driving and approach shots are where most amateurs are gaining strokes, right? And we know that gaining strokes is bad, right? You want to lose strokes. You want to have the least amount of strokes. So it's driving and approach shots. It's not putting, and it's not short game. Not to say that they're not important, but these are the factors.
It needs to be drive for show and putt for dough. Okay? That's how, at least I have seen my game always. Because I drive well, it puts me in position to where I had 8 pars. Now those 7 bogeys you gotta work on, but I'll take the 8 pars. That if I hit more greens in regulation, it gives me the open door to have more pars, right? If I land on the green, like I break down those holes, if it's a par 4, land on the green in 2, that gives me 2 putts to make par. That's it's better to be putting than to be chipping. And I don't mind chipping, but if I can have more opportunities to where I don't have to chip as much, I'm happy. Okay, I'll see y'all later. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments, okay? Bye, guys.